All right, guys, welcome back to the final round of Swiss. We have Daniel Wells on the left playing Merfolk and Brian Huffman on the right playing Abzan Company. We're going to give the players the signal to start right now, and that is their clock. Looks like, yep, Brian is on the play. He's going to play Temple Garden, go down to 18, and we have a Noble Hierarch, or as I like to call her, the Broble.
The Broble?
The Broble, because she's such a bro.
Oh.
Foil Lorwyn Island. I approve Daniel Wells into Curse Catcher. Let me get our Twitch chat back up here. All right. I already addressed the comments that we have. All right, so Curse Catcher for Daniel Wells. Kicks it back to Brian. Brian plays Gavany Township for the turn. He's looking at Anafenza Kintree Spirit, and here's a Kitchen Finks.
All right.
Brian goes up to 20. So, I'm excited to see both these decks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not so much excited to see Merfolk, but I'm happy to see not a combo deck, so we can...
Yeah. I mean, Merfolk is a very solid deck.
Yeah, for sure.
I like seeing Merfolk run well. They can do some neat things. I used to identify as a blue player. I know earlier we were talking about we're green red mage, we're red mage. These days I would say I'm a little more red mage. But back in the day I did like blue a lot, and I especially liked when blue did unconventional things
like play a bunch of creatures,
aggro, and yeah, exactly. So I like Merfolk. The Abzan Company deck here I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's more my jam.
Yeah.
I'm not a particular fan of this iteration of the Malira combo deck just because I played in the Birthing Pod days and I haven't really gotten to play a lot with the Card Collected Company. But, Brian Swanson prefers to be called Little Bri. All right. C Swan 999. If we get to see Mr. Swanson in the feature match during the top 8, I'm not sure with his record that he can make top 8, but if things do break the correct way and he does make it, or if we see him in another event, we will definitely be referring to him as Little Bri. All right. Mr. Huffman is going to fetch down to 17 to get an Overgrown Tomb, and he's going to play Malira plus Viscera Sierra. He's going to sack Kitchen Finks to Viscera Sierra to gain an infinite number of life and scry any card that he wants to the top of his deck, which I imagine will be an Anafenza. Yeah, a lot. Thanks, Brain. I know. He's going to... I imagine he's going to...
that was fast.
He's going to scry Anafenza Kintree Spirit to the top of his deck, but Merfolk can't deal an infinite number of damage.
I mean...
Actually, he already has Anafenza in his hand.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not...
I think that's just it. I think we're on to game 2.
Yeah, I know. The only thing that can beat infinite life really is infinite damage. Which
Merfolk cannot do. They can deal a lot of damage.
They can. I mean, but Brian just has to specify
a number.
My life total is 999 million.
Yeah, and within 50 minutes, Daniel cannot do that much damage.
Right.
And still, that's just the one game.
Plus, looks like our clock is a little screwed up on there.
Yeah, I will update that. So I don't think Brian plays... We can look at his list. I don't think he plays Murderous Redcap to do the infinite damage half of the combo.
Right.
But he can...
That combo is about the only thing that can offset the Kitchen Finks combo. And at that point, you're just slugging infinite damage and infinite life.
But with Anafenza Kintree Spirit in play, he can do that and get an infinite number of bolster triggers to put an infinite number of +1/+1 counters on all his creatures and just attack for the win.
Yeah.
Because if any one of those creatures gets through, it's game.
Right. So we'll see. It looks like Brian is kind of explaining to Daniel what his intention is going to be.
Daniel is an old school Magic player who doesn't get to play a lot. He's a parent and a med student. And so he may not be familiar with this newer version of the deck. So Brian's just probably explaining it to him. So I imagine we're going to see a concession and a move to game 2 here pretty quickly. But anyways, and also with Daniel tapped out, the only interaction that he may have in the main board could be
a scoop.
Yeah, so he scooped. He may have had a Vapor Snag or a Dismember to break that up, but Brian still has the infinite life, which Daniel can't deal with. So we see Brian Huffman take game 1 over Daniel very quickly. He's up 1-0. Abzan Company over the Merfolk. Can you go over Merfolk's sideboard for us, please, Mr. Nye?
Yeah, let's take a look. Looks like he's got 4 Chalice of the Voids, which are probably going to be really important.
Well, I'm not convinced. Brian's deck does play a lot of 1-mana spells, and it does rely on Viscera for the combo, but I'm not sure that's the route you want to go.
There is 1 Pithing Needle.
Pithing Needle,
which he could name on
Viscera.
Yeah. Pretty much shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
2 Tidebinder Mages, probably not going to be huge.
Well, they tap down the green.
Yeah. 2 Grafdigger's Cage.
Yeah, this is
going to be really helpful, and 2 Relic of Progenitus. So he does have a lot of Graveyard Hate for that.
So the combo is effective with the Graveyard Hate because you can blow the Relic with the Persist trigger from the Kitchen Finks on the stack, which will exile the Kitchen Finks and break up the combo.
I see.
So Daniel's deck can assume the control role and board in these elements to kind of break up the combo.
There are 2 Spell Skites, 1 Negate, and 1 Stony Silence.
I would imagine you would just see the relics and the Tidebinder Majors and the Grafdigger's Cage, yeah. For Mr. Huffman...
What about Pithing Needle?
Pithing Needle too, probably, yeah. Because even if it doesn't... Oh, no, because that doesn't affect mana abilities. So, yeah, but it's...
You pretty much... I mean, if you can get that on the Viscera Seer,
then the combo's
really
off.
A lot they can do.
Yeah, the
they don't have another sack outlet usually.
You could also, if he's on a fair game plan, you could do it for Gavany Township, which turns off that plan.
Yeah.
For Brian, we have 2 Path to Exile, 2 Abrupt Decay, 4 Tide Hollow Sculler, 1 Voice of Resurgence, 1 Phyrexian Revoker, 1 Kasali Pride Mage, 1 Anafenza the Foremost, which is the 3-mana Anafenza, 1 Aven Mind Sensor, 1 Maelstrom Pulse, 1 Gideon Ally of Zendikar.
So I imagine he's going to want to bring in the Abrupt Decays to deal with... I mean, if he's assuming... I don't know if he knows that Daniel has Grafdigger's Cages or Relics or Pithing Needles.
Usually, when you are playing this type of creature toolbox deck, post-board, you bring in some number of artifact destruction effects, be they like Reclamation Sage, Kasali Pride Mage, because you assume that your opponent is going to have either Grafdigger's Cage or Torpor Orb or some sort of that effect. So if you know they have it, you board them all in. If you don't know they have it, you probably bring in some
board
number.
A few in.
Yeah, and when you're playing this Court of Calling deck, boarding in your 1 Kasali Pride Mage doesn't cost you a lot, even if they don't have anything for you to target with it, because it's only 1 card. And with the 4 Court of Callings, you get to essentially play with 5 of them.
You can go, fetching it out whenever you need to, basically.
Basically, yes. Okay, so for those of you who are joining us, this is the final round of Swiss from the TCG Player West Virginia Modern State Championships. Thank you very much for joining us. This is our last round of Swiss, like I said. And there's
the Grafdigger's
beautiful
Cage.
Island into Grafdigger's Cage.
The Lorwyn lands, they are pretty picturesque, very pastoral.
Yeah.
My grandmother is off the boat from Scotland.
Basic lands my grandmother would play with. Thanks, Kurt.
All right, well, my grandma's from Scotland. I got a lot of English and Scottish heritage running through my veins, and I know that Lorwyn was the set that was all based off of old English folklore and old Celtic folklore. So seeing that environment reminds me a lot, of England and Scotland and those kind of lands.
Yeah, I am nice. Irish, so it probably part of the reason I like it probably speaks to my heritage a little. Yeah. I'm also just a huge fan of the fantasy genre as a whole.
It is the most hobbity going down in Shire type sets.
Huge Tolkien fan. Love Middle Earth. That's my jam, baby.
Yeah.
All right, so turn 2. Daniel follows up with a Curse Catcher, but unfortunately, it looks like he kept a 1-lander. That's the danger of these very enticing sideboard cards. Sometimes you
want to keep them really bad,
but the hand itself isn't that great. So if Brain just has sorry, that's his nickname. If he just has like a Rec Sage or a Pride Mage,
right.
if he kept a strong hand against Daniel's loose hand, but he has an answer to the cage, or if he can just ignore it. Yeah, here's Kitchen Finks, taking Brian up to 19.
We'll have to see how much time that Grafdigger's Cage can buy Daniel.
Yeah.
And even without the combo, Brian can still throw Kitchen Finks at Daniel's face. He can go down the attack route there.
These company decks have this fair, grindy backup plan where they just play a bunch of creatures that generate value. They have the Gavany Township to build up massive armies, and it doesn't need the combo to win. And if your opponent's displaying weakness like Daniel is now, that I bet Brian feels in a very powerful position right now. So he's going to swing for 3 and take Daniel down to 17. And here's Anafenza, Bolster. Here's Viscera Seer.
Jeez.
Oh, man. So that's Infinite Life again.
That's Infinite again.
Yeah, so...
Well, no, he's got to take the Grafdiggers offline still.
No, Oh, yeah, because it can't re-enter from the graveyard.
Right.
My bad.
So he's got to get rid of those. But the thing is, I mean, he's got Quarter Call in his hand. He can lock it down this turn.
Well, he can't cord for... He had...
Oh, he can't go for it.
Yeah.
No.
So, Grafdigger's Cage says that creatures can't enter from the library or the graveyard.
I always forget about that.
But still, like, look at...
He can just go in the...
Look at this army. Yeah, like...
This Abzan Company deck, it is sweet because it has a lot of versatility compared to other decks in Modern. It's kind of like a jack of all trades sort of thing. You can go Infinite Life, you can go Infinite Damage, you can just go on the beats, you can, find, with the Quarter Callings, you can have random one-ofs that just deal with practically anything. And
these are really my favorite decks to play. They're just so great. And I really, as a Magic player, I can't explain how much I love tutoring. All right, so here's an activation of Township. He's going to put +1/+1 counters on all of his creatures, which means that he's swinging for 4, 6. He's swinging for 9, so half of Daniel's life total here on turn 4. And he already took 3... Yeah, so Daniel's at 17 before blocks because he took 3 off the Kitchen Finks from the last turn. Can't see that die.
Nope. They have forgotten what I told them about the margins of our camera, it looks
that's
like.
Okay.
So.
But here...
That's fine.
Here's Relic for Daniel.
Yeah.
We said that he took 9 and he was at 17, so he should be at 8 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he did not block. Curse Catcher's still in play. And Brian's just going to move to attacks. The Curse Catcher's going to jump right in front of that Kitchen Finks. And the bird's even attacking. That's 2 in the air. So that's 2.
I think that's 8, isn't it?
It's 2, 4.
Oh,
no, it's 7 right now.
7.
Yeah, it's 7. So Daniel's going to fall down to 1.
Man, rough draw for Daniels. Keeping on the one-lander. Had the Grafdigger's Cage, which, is what he really wanted.
Yep.
That's rough, man. Getting locked on one land is, in my personal opinion, the worst feeling thing that can happen.
So it looks like Brain goofed a little bit. If he would have played that Horizon Canopy pre-combat, he could have activated the Gavany Township to kill Daniel that turn. But here's Seer's Claim.
Looks
yeah,
like
okay. So in just under 15 minutes, Brian Huffman takes the match 2-0 over Daniel Wells. And that was super unfortunate that Daniel got mana screwed in game 2. I think that this matchup is not terribly lopsided in either direction, and we could have seen a pretty interesting match.
Getting mana screwed is my least favorite thing about Magic. I know that it is an integral and important part of the game that can happen, but when you don't even get to play Magic because you only have one land and you can't play your cards, that just feels so bad.
It's a really bad feeling.
Yeah.
But like you said, it is important. Because the great thing about Magic is that any player can win any game. It's not like chess, where if you sit down and let's say we're going to play chess, and you've been playing chess for 10 years and I just started, I'm never going to win. And I'm probably never going to beat you for a long time. Whereas any Magic player can sit down against any other Magic player, and because of variance, they have a chance to win. That's just something that's built
slim
into the game.
Sometimes, but it's
slim,
it's
very
there.
slim. Yeah, But if I played 100 matches against John Finkel, I might win one of those matches.
You might,
or maybe I might win 2 of those matches.
You might.
Just because variance is built into the game.
It depends on your cards. It also depends on your ability to strategize and predict correctly. Yeah. That's why I like Magic so much. I think that's what really attracted me. I definitely am a fan of games that require a lot of strategy and a lot of forethought and thinking, and Magic continues to provide, continues to refresh itself year after year and set after set. So I just definitely, probably why I like it so much.
I agree. All right, well, let's hop downstairs and let's get another match for everybody to watch. We'll be right back.
Yeah.